Truth clings on to Naomi because she knew what she wanted. So many of us have come to God and we came because we wanted healing. We came because we wanted a job. We came because we wanted a miracle. We are Christians, but we want to just look like the people of the world. Welcome to Maria Speaks today. Many times we read the story of Peter and the time he denied Christ 3 times. Remember, Christ had pre-warned him that this was going to happen. And when I was going through the excerpt, and just allow me to read what it says. There's a servant girl, seeing him as he sat in the firelight, looking intently at him, said, "This man was with him too." But Peter denied it. A little later, someone else saw him and said, "You are one of them too." But Peter said, "Man, I am not." After about an hour had passed, another man began to insist, "This man was with him, for he is Galilean too." But Peter said, "Man, I do not know what you are talking about." Interesting that 3 people could identify Peter as one of Christ's disciples. So as I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering, is it how Peter carried himself? Is it how he looked? Is it how he dressed? Like, what was the resemblance? Because sometimes we want to look at it from the bad light of why would Peter deny Christ. I want to look at it from the point of how much did Peter resemble Christ? And as Christians, how much do we resemble Christ? Are we the kind of Christians who have to shout it out like, "Hey people, I am born again"? Or how you look, how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you dress resembles, or rather speaks out the salvation that you have for Christ. And so many times I have a problem with people saying that salvation is personal. It's a phrase that is so much used, or rather misused, by the Christians. And in my own thinking, I feel like that phrase will take so many people to hell than the devil will actually do. Why? Because not so many people say it from the point of salvation is personal. Many people say it from the point of, "Don't judge me. It's personal. Whether I sin, whether I walk or look like Christ, that is not of your interest." But you see, for me, salvation is personal means I don't have to shout my salvation. I don't have to speak or constantly tell you how much I am born again. It is personal because you just have to look at me, look at the way I live my life, look at how I conduct my life. And from that, see for yourself that this girl is of a different origin or is Christ-like. But you see, people want to use that phrase to mean, "Don't judge me. I am a sinner, don't judge me. I will keep doing this. I'm addicted to whatever I'm addicted to. Don't judge me because my salvation is between me and God." And so this makes me wonder, as a Christian, can people point out, maybe from the place you work, maybe from the place you live, or maybe when you're in a matatu, can people point out that this person is actually different, even without you having to say that you're actually born again? And so we need to go to the place of evaluating and asking ourselves the cross that I carry, because when we go to God, we have taken his cross and now put it on our backs. But does the cross you carry of Christ transform you? Or are you continually living a life of salvation is personal while you're so busy emulating the world, the things of the world? Why again would Christ say, "You will know them by their fruits"? Because you don't have to say it. Your fruits have to be seen, and from there we will tell, are you born again or are you not born again? And so Peter, despite denying Christ so many times, he had walked with Christ to the extent that he looked like Christ. He resembled him, and no matter how much he denied it, people could still pick a Christ-like attitude, a Christ-like character from him. And can people do the same for you? Can people point out and say, "You are born again, she is born again, I am born again, he is born again"? Can people depict that without you necessarily having to shout it? Or are you the people that are busy shouting, "Leave me alone," because salvation is personal, but what you do in your closets, what you do when people don't see you, is nothing close to Christ? So it's just a matter or a question of reevaluating ourselves and asking ourselves, am I resembling Christ? Or do I have to shout it all the time that, "Hey people, I'm born again. Hey people, I am Christ-like, or can it be seen from your actions? Good question.